Good afternoon, everyone. Guys, bad news, I'm afraid. Guys, I'm just going to call it pensions, pension schemes. Guys, it's over. I don't think in the short future anyway, I think there's going to be no such thing as pensions. I think all the pension pots that we've been paying into, I think they're just going to vanish into bankers' back pockets. Now, I've been watching this pension crisis for a while. I'm not of a pensionable age at the moment, although some of you may think I am. Now, I was speaking to my friend and he was telling me how much money he pays into his pension, and how much he'll get out of that at the end. And when we looked at it, we said, wow, this is absolutely disgusting. Now, pensions only work if there's more people paying into them. They're like a Ponzi scheme. They only work if there's more people paying into them than more people are drawing out at the top. So if you look at things like, people are living longer, less people, we've got more people in this country who are working. We know that, it's statistics. We have to support a lot more people in this country now. So at some point, we're going to come to break. This is going to break, guys. Now, they're talking right now, as I said, and I'm making this video, they're talking about this in Parliament. Somebody may mention these points later, but nobody seems to want to mention the fact that in like maybe 10, 15 years, the pension system as we have it now, guys, it's just going to collapse. Which brings me back to what I think it was George Osborne. He did he made an announcement back in 2014, which was basically, I may be getting this slightly wrong, and it may not apply for every pension, but it applied to a lot of pensions that basically, when you get to 55, you can draw your pension and you can invest that money yourself, or you can do something with that money. Now, what I think is going to happen to those people that are, because 55 is not old, guys, and for anybody who's young who thinks 55 is old, guys, I go running sometimes with people who are 65, and they are definitely hitting 100. So 55 isn't really that old anymore. It's not. A lot of mixed martial artists, they have their last fights in their late 40s. So at 55, guys, it's not really that old. I mean, look at Mike Tyson. He's going to be 58 and he's going to be fighting Jake Paul. So 55 is not old. So what are you going to do with your pension money at 55? Guys, I see this problem getting worse and worse and worse and more dramatic every year. Every time there's a budget, I see there's going to be more cuts and cuts and cuts to pensions. Now, my, granddad on my dad's side, he lives in a little bungalow. He's paid, he's paid pension, he's paid into his pension every day of his life. He's always worked, he's always saved. He's done the right thing. Literally, the guy next door to him, in the bungalow next door to him, he's never worked a day in his life. He's always been on the system. He's in the same, well, not the same bungalow, but he's in the bungalow next door. And he gets, I think we worked it out, it's either 36 or 17 pounds a month more. What's the incentive, guys, for paying into a pension? What's the incentive for saving for the future? When anybody with half a brain cells looking at what these pension pots are and where they go, they're just for rich people to bet on the stock market. It's just, it's like we're paying somebody else. Imagine a poker game and our pension pots are there going, and somebody's playing poker at our expense when we pay into our pension pots. So, all you have to do is a quick search for UK pension crisis UK, and you get absolutely loads of hits. I'm just going to read you a little, I'm just going to read you a little, a couple of headlines here, guys. So let me share this one actually, guys. This is a good one. I say good, it's not good. Hang on, let me get rid of this. So this is quite recent. This is in the last day or so. 2 million people heading for pension crisis as Brits warned of collapsing savings. So, a lot of these savings that have collapsed because of the last 4 years when, these self-employed, where does it say no, sorry, hang on. Yeah, so this is So this is talking about the self-employed. But the reason a lot of self-employed people are struggling is because what's just happened the last 4 years. there was crazy lockdowns, people couldn't work, and for some reason you had to social distance apart from when you was having a meal, because you can't catch anything if you're eating your dinner, but as soon as you're not eating your dinner, you have to put a mask on because reasons, so we had all these sort of ridiculous shenanigans. So the Institute for Fiscal Studies says that 500,000 self-employed people in the UK are earning more than £10,000 are paying a single penny into their pensions. I'm not sure if that's a typo, guys, but I think it means like are paying nothing, while 1.8 million are not. So basically what this means is a lot of people are not paying into their pensions. Now, guys, I have to sympathize with people who are self-employed, and who may or may not be earning up to certain thresholds. What's the incentive for people to pay into a pension pot when, like I've just said, people, the government think that we're stupid, and they think that we listen to what they say, and they think that, we take their advice. We live in the real world, and we live on the ground level. And if I'm supposed to be paying into my pension pot, and I look at my next door neighbour and they've never worked a day in their life, and the government have given them all this free stuff, and I'm told to save my own money so I can have the same. What's the incentive? Where's the incentive for me to work? Where's the incentive there for me to work hard, save all my money? That money then goes to some pension management fund. That pension management fund then bet, and it is a bet, bet on the stock markets, try and grow that pension pot. Now, because there's less people paying into the pension pots, those bets that they make have to be more dynamic. They have to be more high risk, high return, to keep up with that growing demand. At some point, guys, mark my words, one of these pension companies, one of these big pension companies, they're just going to come out and they're going to say, yeah, guys, remember your pensions? Yeah. Okay, about that. We kind of lost all your money on some wild bets, but don't worry. We've still took our bonuses. We're closing the company down now. We've got a couple more days before I get my bonus. The rest of my staff, they need their bonus because we've been doing a good job. Once we've got our bonuses though, guys, we're going to close this pension down. And you guys, unfortunately, in the small print, it says here, look, whatever it says in the small print. And once that happens, guys, you can pretty much count an end to all pensions, because like with the banking system, people need to be able to, to vote with their feet. So if a product's bad, they need to stop paying it. Like my friend at work, he can't not pay into his pension. He gets his salary and they take money out of his salary and that goes straight to his pension, and he has no word on where that goes, who that goes to, or what they do. We was actually talking, and we were talking about it, and we said, look, my friend could buy a house, like $100 grand house, buy to let mortgage, 20% down or whatever it is. He could have that house as equity, as an investment, and he could pay for what he's paying into his mortgage. He could cover the costs of that house. Not only would he cover the costs of that house, if he put a tenant in that house, then that house would be paying for itself, and he would be earning some money now. He'd be earning extra money now. Now, that money could go into his own savings account. It could go into wherever. He could invest that the way he saw fit. But he's not allowed to do that. So by him paying into his own pension, it's actually making him poor when he's at pensionable age. Guys, can you imagine that statement making sense in any other, in any other reality in this universe, wherever we are? It's absolutely insane. Guys, I don't think pensions are going to last much longer. I think you're seeing the crumbling cracks now. And every time, you see a budget, you see more people talking about pensions, and trying to put plasters over the, over the wounds, when nobody's addressing the underlying facts. Pensions are a Ponzi scheme, guys. They are now, they always have been, and they always will be. There's no other way that they can work. You pay into it now, so that when you're older, the people who are younger than you, they're paying into their pension schemes, they can pay for you. And that's just how it works. guys, you know, and of course, you know, there's going to be people arguing saying, oh no, we do these equities and we do these and we've got these financial products. And guys, no, stop it. All right. Pensions only work if there's more people paying in than people are taking out. There's no other way around it. So at some point, one of the big pension companies, one of the big investment companies, they're going to go bust. Everybody's going to lose the money. The government are going to have to step in, and that's just going to be the end to private pensions. That's going to be the end to pensions. I don't know where we're going to go after that, but you know, it's just more madness that we're seeing. And it seems like, guys, and again, sorry, to go back slightly, it seems like this, you know, this legislation that George Osborne passed in 2014, I think. You know, that legislation that he passed that allowed people to draw out of their own pensions and do what they want with it. Guys, I think that was the beginning to the end of the pensions. You know, it was the beginning to people just saying, why am I going to bother taking five, I don't know, whatever it is, like £60 a week or whatever it is for X amount of weeks when I can claim that, like, people who have never worked in their life, that's what they get. So why wouldn't I draw my pension out when I get that anyway? You see where I'm going, guys? It seems, you know, it seems for people with pensions at a certain level of pensions, there's no incentive for them to save. There's no incentive for them to keep going, because, you know, we see what's happening. We see the reality on the streets, for want of a better phrase, and we know that there are people who've never worked a day in their life, and they're getting a better quality of life than people who've worked every day of their life when they're at pensionable age. It's absolutely insane. People understand this, people know this, and there's no incentive for people in a certain bracket, in a certain salary bracket. There's no, and of course, the not unemployed, the self-employed. You know, so why would people save? Guys, the solution to this, I don't know what the solution is, but I know that, you know, if you've got your money in a pension now, and again, this is not financial advice. None of this video is financial advice. I'm not qualified to give anyone financial advice, least of all myself, you know, but people really need to have a conscious look at their pension and their retirement now. Because, guys, honestly, at some point, one of these big pension companies, one of the big, I don't know how many, I think there's like maybe 6 or something, you know, as soon as one goes bust, that's going to put pressure on everyone else. Everybody's going to be terrified. Everybody's going to want to try and get their money out of the pension. And what's going to happen? The Ponzi scheme will just collapse. And overnight, you will see, like, look at Northern Rock is a good example when that collapsed. You know, you're just going to see these places collapse. You're going to see these bankers trying to keep as much money for themselves, because why else would you be a banker if you didn't just want to keep money? Guys, I do feel sorry for a lot of these bankers, and that's all they've done with their lives, you know, messed about with money and numbers on screens. It's not for me. But anyway, guys, that is just it, guys. It's a little bit of a warning, because, you know, if you think you're poor now, imagine how poor you'll be when the pension system collapses. And guys, that is it. I'm going to max the grid now, and I'll get you guys another video.